Hi there, welcome back. Now we've finished the front end of this website, so now it's time to turn our attention to the back end. In other words, creating our own control panel so that as a user we can easily maintain the site content. We can easily upload content, edit or delete. So at the moment you'll see in our nav bar we have an admin link, and at the moment this goes nowhere. So what we'll be doing over the next 2 or 3 videos is just building an admin page that will sit down here in our main content. There will be a login page when you first come to it, and then when you are logged in, you'll then get a control panel with all the different options, and we'll work our way through each of those options one at a time. But before we do all that, we really need to have a look at what's going on, and we probably need to set up a user table in our database where we can have the username and password of our administrator. So I'm just going to head into my database here. At the moment we just have the two tables, category and stock. So I'm going to create a new one. Now I'm going to call it user and give it 3 columns. You may want to give it a different name, and I'll explain why in a moment. The column headings I'm going with are user ID, which is our unique identifier. It's a numerical one, so I'm only going to have one user, so I only need one character, one length. However, if you're going to have lots and lots of users, you may want to have more characters. It needs to be my primary key and set to auto increment. The other columns I'm going to have are the username, which I'll set to varchar. Might make that a maximum 20 character length, and password, which is also varchar, and I'll set that to a length of 50. Now, before we go any further, just so you know, if you're developing a site commercially, where there's any risk that someone may want to hack into this, I probably would recommend not using names like user, username, password, because if someone is trying to hack your site, they would be the first things they would actually try. So you may want to go with some less obvious headings. In this case though, for these tutorials, I will stick with them because it's going to make it an awful lot easier to see what's going on as we keep moving forward. So we'll go with these now. They're quite generic, but probably not that safe. So just if you are developing commercially, keep that in mind, please. So we'll save that table. And if we go into our user table now and go to insert our administrator, I'm just going to give mine a username of admin, and I could then put the password in as being admin. Now, I'm not going to do this though, because you should never ever store an unencrypted password in a database. And you would have noticed this, I hope, if you've ever set up an account online and if you forget your password, they should never send you your password to remind you, because they shouldn't store it. What they will do instead is they'll give you the opportunity to reset it, in which case when you enter a new password, an encryption will take place, and that encrypted version will then be stored in their database. So your the people with whom you have the account should never know your actual password. Now this is important because obviously databases get hacked all the time, and so you don't want your unencrypted password there. Now there are lots of different encryption types. I'm just going to use a very basic one called SHA-1. If you look around, you'll probably find there are a lot more complicated ones. To give you an idea of how it works, here's a SHA-1 generator online. If I put a password in, like a really complicated one, like password, and hash that, you can see it is giving me the encrypted version of that word. If I put another really common password like QWERTY and hash, there it is there. Now, it's all well and good to use this as a demo, but I wouldn't recommend, again, putting your real password into a website online like this, because while this is a one-way encryption, in other words, without supercomputers working for millions of years, you won't be able to decrypt. You won't be able to reverse the encryption. But there are websites that actually just keep records, like massive database tables of words and their encrypted versions. So I don't know if this site would do it or not. I hope not. But some sites, if you enter a password and hash, they may actually, well, they'll give you this. They may also put these two into their database so that it's sitting in there, and if they can actually do a reverse lookup. So in other words, if they broke into your database and they found this encrypted password here, they could actually go to their table and go through it, find the match, and then work out what the actual original text was. Now that is not good. So we want to avoid that if at all possible. So clearly you want a very secure password, but also I wouldn't encrypt it online like this. So what we're going to do instead, get rid of him, is back in Notepad, I'm just going to create a new page, and in PHP we're just going to actually run a quick encryption on a word and get that to generate the password for us. So I'm just going to save this as a PHP file, and I'm just going to call it sha1.php. And all we're doing in here is echoing, or printing on screen, the sha1 of whatever goes inside these speech marks and brackets. So if I put admin, which is going to be my password, and save that, if I run this page now, the word admin is not going to be displayed. The encrypted version of admin will be displayed. So here's my site here, sheet tutorial. If I run sha1.php, there you go. So that's my encrypted version. So I can just copy that, select it, copy it, and I can now paste that into here, and done. So there it is, there's my username and password, admin and admin. Nothing too secure, but for this example it's enough. So that's a nice easy way of doing it, and it's safe, it's working on your local computer, so you're not putting your password out there for someone else to see and record. So anyway, that's our first step, is just setting up the user table. What we'll be doing next time is, if I can just come back here, we'll be setting up an admin page, to go in here with a login page and also a control panel. So that's what's coming up next. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you then.